Have you ever been chased naked, got lost in a maze, missed a plane, failed a test, lost some teeth, fallen from a tall building, or dreamt about Nookie while going downhill on a hospital trolley? What the devil did that mean, Ian Wallace?
Going downhill while having Nookie on a hospital trolley?
Well, no, I was having rude thoughts while going downhill on a hospital trolley.
Yes, so anything to do with rude thoughts is about your creativity, Jonathan. It's about your ability to conceive ideas and become more intimate with that awareness.
Isn't it strange how every conversation you and I have had about my dreams is all about creativity?
Yes.
And even my sex turns into creativity. Why can't it just be Nookie? We're talking dreams and what they mean. So until about 10 to 12, when we are going to have a look at the Queen's speech, and the Queen is on her way in a rather grey, wet-looking London in the state coach. That is the state coach, isn't it? The gold one. Then we're going to talk to Ian Wallace, busting the myths about dreams. What is your subconscious doing? And Ian's brought out a new book, and it's inspired by me.
Yes. You can take full credit for that, Jonathan Miles.
Not full credit.
Uh-huh.
So, but thank you. What, was it really inspired by me?
Well, you've said on a number of occasions when I've been in, Jonathan, why at birth are we not given a book that simply tells us what all the symbols and images that we create in our dreams, what they actually mean? And I had the same thought as well, so I thought I would write the book. And there it is. Over 12,000 image and symbol definitions. And not only that, but lots of information in the book about how to be your own dream expert.
Because it is interesting, isn't it? You'll pick up a dream book or you'll go to some website and it's never got the whole thing. So, you know, hypothetically, in your dream, there's a purple two-headed dinosaur which turns into a cat which sits on your mother's lap, which is then she is licking an ice cream while smacking your bottom in a Rolls Royce, and then you win the lottery. I mean, it's never got the whole lot.
Yeah, well, this one has. All that stuff is in there.
So if I had that dream...
Yes.
Where would I start looking? So
you would start looking at all the images that you recited there, and you go through, and each of them has got a very succinct definition of about 20 words long. So it's not the usual thing you get in a dream dictionary where, you know, Freud said that and Jung said that, and Mrs. Wilson down the road said something else. It's just very succinct, very, very clear, and then you use that and you can start asking yourself questions about what that image means to you.
And what if there was an emotion to go with that scenario that I just described?
Well, all the emotions are in here as well. So not only images are intimately connected with emotions, so there's lots of emotions in the dictionary as well.
So, you know, quite often you'll wake up from a dream feeling really quite discombobulated.
Yeah, so you might feel quite angry in the dream, or quite sad, or quite joyful. So all those emotions are in there as well, and then you can connect them to your dream imagery that you've created. There
are basics, though, isn't it? It's like, what if you dream of water, that's emotions.
Yes.
Fire is cleansing.
Or transformation.
Death is a new beginning.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about any others.
But you're doing very well there, Jonathan. I was impressed there. That's great, yes. Coming along, Dream Apprentice.
Thank you very much. Listen, we've lots of people, both in the office and around the North East, have been getting in touch about their dreams. And if you would like your dream analysed here on the phone or on text, Ian can do that. BBC and then your message to 81333, 0191232 6565 on the phone. Our Steph Finnan has been out on the streets finding out about dreams. Are you ready for one, Ian?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
What's your strangest dream?
Where I've been sucked underground in the mud, like at Dunstan actually, like just walking down the street and I was just sucked in the mud. I've had it a few times actually.
That's more like a nightmare.
I looked at it and, well, I suppose, I bought a book of dreams because it kept reoccurring, you know. And I couldn't find nothing about it.
How many times have you had it?
Must have had it about 30, 40 or more. It's a while back. I haven't had it lately, but I always wondered where it was. Walking along and the ground not caving in, just sucking us down, but I never actually... I always woke up before it finished, you know, so I don't know whether I died or not.
Okay, Ian Wallace, dream expert, please. What does that mean?
So anytime we dream about mud, there's some situation in waking life where we're getting bogged down in the practicalities of something. So the dreamer in waking life, there's some very practical steps that she needs to take, but she feels that she can't do that. There are certain constraints and limits to the action she can take, so she just feels like she's bogged down and floundering. So the action from the dream, because there's always an action, is she needs to decide a single step she can take to move forward.
And if that was a recurring dream,
so a recurring dream happens just because you're not addressing the situation in waking life. So the 30 or 40 times that she had it during that period of her waking life, she would actually be stuck in that position she didn't want to be in.
Your dreams analysed over the next half an hour. BBC and then your message to 81333. The way you describe it, the psychology of dreams doesn't seem that complicated, but it probably is.
It is when you get really into it, but it's just a very human thing. It's essentially human. It's our most fundamental form of self-expression. And before we use the words like we're using now, we used images and symbols. So it goes back to that much more ancient and much wiser way of expressing ourselves.
When you're at a dinner party, don't you just go, I'd like to eat me dinner, please, I don't want to hear another dream?
I'm just fascinated by dreams, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah?
So I always end up, I'm still in the soup when everyone else is on the nuts.
But, I mean, how did you originally get interested?
Just been fascinated by dreams since I was tiny. My first memory's a dream when I was about 2.5.
What was that? Can you tell me?
Yes, I can. I'll share that with you. I was on a railway track and there was a big steam engine coming towards me, and I woke up just before it arrived.
And what did that mean?
Well, I didn't know at the time because I was only 2.5, but my dad did something brilliant the next day. My dad was a miner, so he wasn't a psychologist or a man who'd been to higher education. But what he did was took me down to a railway where he knew that a steam train from the pit would be along. And we stood on this bridge and we saw this plume of steam coming in the distance. And then as it passed underneath us, we were enveloped in a shower of sparks and steam and smoke. And he turned to me and said, "That's what a dream is."
Oh, yeah, okay. Can I just give you that? Nettie on Facebook says, "My dreams are awful. All of my life I've dreamt of looking in empty rooms, rows and rows of them, like huge derelict hotels. Every room exactly the same as all the others. Nothing in them. I'd like to know what it means."
This is the 9th most common dream that Nettie's having, and although it sounds a really disturbing dream, it's actually a really positive dream full of potential. Oh. So anytime you dream about a building, you're dreaming about yourself, because buildings have got insides and outsides, and so do we. And all the rooms in a building represent different aspects of yourself. So in Nettie's dream, she's got lots and lots of undiscovered potential, but she's really neglecting it, and she's not doing anything with it, and that's why the rooms seem abandoned and empty.
Okay. Now you may, does that help, Nettie? Good. Now you were sitting there at 11 o'clock when I mentioned being invited to a naturist club in Durham.
Yes.
John says, your current topic, you don't have to dream about being chased naked, visit our naturist club and you can do it.
Yeah, 4th most common dream, you can act it out for real.
Really? What, the 4th most common dream is dreaming about being naked?
Yes, naked in public.
Well, and what does that mean? That you feel that you'll be exposed?
Fantastic, Jonathan. You're getting the hang of this.
Hey, I've got a sideline. I could be a psychologist.
Yes.
If you would like your dream analysed, BBC and then your message to 81333. Ian's new book is called The Complete A to Z Dictionary of Dreams. Be your own expert with over 12,000 definitions. So if you would like your dream analysed, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Well, he's going to stay till 12. We'll do a bit on the Queen's speech at 11:52. But if you'd like your dream analysed, BBC then your message to 81333. This BBC Newcastle Radio for the North East. We're talking to Ian Wallace. He is a dream psychologist. We've talked to Ian many times before, and I've had Ian on a Saturday morning for about an hour and a half, and he never stopped analysing your dreams. The interesting thing about your new book, which has just about every dream and emotion that you could possibly have, I believe. So this proves how comprehensive Ian's book is, because you'll dream of, like, the weirdest thing in the world. Let's say, because I've just seen it in this book, a platypus and a dulcimer. I'm like, what? How would I ever think I'm going to dream about a dulcimer? And what the devil is it? But I dream about it. It's in the book. So, if you've never, ever, ever in your life encountered a platypus, and I must have seen one somewhere on a film or something, and I have a dream about some dulcimer, is that likely?
Yeah, so these are things, so in my career so far, I've analysed nearly 200,000 dreams, and these are all things that people have dreamt about. So it starts at aardvark and goes all the way through to Zeds.
So, what is a dulcimer again? Having just mentioned it.
It's a primitive stringed instrument. And you'd find, if you went to the Appalachian Mountains in America, you'd probably hear a few of them being played.
Okay. I'm just trying to think where to go now. Text. Because I've got okay. Pauline says, why does my phone never work in my dreams? I can never dial a number in my dreams.
So in Pauline's dream, when we dream about a phone that's not working, there's some situation in waking life where she's trying to communicate something, and she's trying to do it in the usual way she does it, but she can't find the right buttons to press with the person she's trying to communicate with. So the action from the dream for Pauline is to think of different ways of communicating what she really needs to another person.
Yeah, okay. Do you get that, Pauline? I have a recurring dream. I'm in the shower. I have my vest on. I try to take it off, but another one underneath, and I keep repeating, woke up exhausted.
So when we dream about being in a shower, there's some situation in waking life where we really need to come clean about our feelings and say what's actually happening for us emotionally. And because there's a bit of clothing involved, that might mean opening up and appearing a little bit vulnerable and exposed to the people around you.
Because there's water involved, does that mean there's emotions?
It's emotions and feelings, water, yes.
Okay. So there's one here. Well, I've got a couple from the office, but my friend Les wanted this done, if you would, Ian. Do you mind?
Yes.
I was outside the local pub and someone shouted, Les, we need your help. I went inside. There was a child's head on one side and the body on the other. I mean, that's enough to put you off for a start. Both bits were still alive. I remember saying in the dream that I need to get the two bits back together and pass the needle and thread. What? I mean, where did that come from?
It's a fantastic... So it came from a human being called Les, which is just absolutely brilliant. So any time we dream about a person, Jonathan, as we know, then we're dreaming about some aspect of ourselves. So Les is dreaming about some potential creative idea he has. It's his inner child is working, and somehow the head has got separated from the bit that can do the actions. So he's got some idea that's just emerging and growing for him, but he's thinking about it too much, and he actually needs to put his idea into action, and that's where the needle and thread comes in. He needs to piece together the actions he needs to take to make it happen.
How disturbing did God make our bodies? That you would, I mean, because that is enough to discombobulate anybody. A dream of sewing together a child. You just go, why would you do that?
So the scarier and more vivid our dreams are, then the more compelling it is to take action with them in waking life.
Also, Helen in our office, she's always dreaming of trains, either on a train, but there's always a train involved. There is never not a train involved. What the devil does it mean, she says?
Anytime we dream about vehicles, we're dreaming about our drives and ambitions in waking life. And when Helen dreams about a train, she's dreaming about her career path and how she's embarked on that. So she might be on the train, she's maybe on the wrong train, maybe missed a train, but in waking life she needs to make some decisions about her longer term career path.
Oh, all right, H. Dreamt for years I was going upstairs. When I got to the top, there was something there. I'd turn and jump from the top to the bottom. It's stopped now, says Sheila in Redcar.
In Sheila's dream, anytime we dream about going upstairs, it's usually to do with professional advancement, and we're thinking of taking things one step at a time as we climb higher and higher within an organisation. And what Sheila's worried about is that she'll get so far and something really scary will happen, or she won't feel that she can do the job when she gets there. So this dream is just about having confidence in taking that next step and not being afraid to go higher and higher.
Oh, you're good, you. What else is there? Let me see. Okay, there's Tommy who says, could I ask, urban myth, if when you're asleep... Oh, Tommy, I'm not doing that. Stop it. Okay. Pauline says, thank you, Jonathan. And now I just have to work out what I'm trying to say and to who, says Pauline.
Yes, so what Pauline can do, actually, is when she lays her head on the pillow tonight, is just to say, tonight I will dream who I need to say this to and when I need to do it and how I need to do it, and just let her unconscious do the work for her.
Oh, okay. Because somebody else wanted to know whether or not you can decide what you dream about.
Yes, you can. So you can intend what you want to dream about. And there's a technique or a method called lucid dreaming, which people wrongly believe is about controlling your dreams, but it's actually about making choices in your dreams. So you can choose what you want to dream about and choose a dream location and who you'll be there with.
If you would like your dream analysed, BBC and then your message too. Got Ian Wallace here at the moment. Tomorrow is the day that his new book is published, so I've got an advance copy. The complete A to Z Dictionary of Dreams. Be your own dream expert. There's all sorts of emotions described, Ian, that would go with the dreams and the symbols and the bits. That's right, isn't it?
That's a perfect description of the book's contents, Jonathan.
Wow, I should be your PR.
Yeah, it should be.
Let me in. Do they get paid much? They probably do. So our Steph Finnan went out earlier on to get some dreams.
Yes.
Here's one.
You're having weird dreams at the moment?
Yes, but I'm pregnant at the moment and I'm having dreams about my baby. I'm having dreams that it's an alien.
An alien?
An alien, it's coming out an alien. But I can only see it. No one else can see it.
You've already got one little girl.
Yes.
So did you have dreams like that when you were pregnant before?
No, not that exact one, but I have had weird dreams.
Ian?
Yeah, so when women are pregnant, they often have really, really incredibly vivid dreams just because their body's changing, there's lots of hormonal changes going on. So for this dreamer, when she dreams that she's given birth to an alien, it's not like some Ridley Scott epic that's going on. It just means that this particular pregnancy or what's happening with it, there are some unfamiliar aspects to it, and it's really quite alien to her. It just seems a little bit foreign. So all she needs to do in waking life is to become more accustomed and just accept this pregnancy that might be a little bit different from the one she had previously.
All right. Trucker Les says, 2 dreams disturbed me. I was in a large holiday complex looking for a chalet. When I thought I was near to the door, I wasn't. Second dream was very similar.
So we dream about buildings, we said, we're dreaming about the self. So Les is dreaming about the people he could be and his potential in waking life. And a door always represents a threshold. It's an area of your life that you can open up and step into and do something with. So Les has probably got a number of talents he can use, as well as being a trucker, and he's looking at ways to employ those talents.
Oh, Les, what are your talents? Stephen called. He keeps dreaming that he's on a bus, and each time it breaks down, they're halfway up a hill. What does it mean?
In Stephen's dream, so in the previous dream, we said that about the train, that vehicles represent our drives and ambitions in waking life, where we're going professionally. So when you dream about a bus, you're actually going somewhere in waking life with a number of colleagues. And going up a hill, so we've got idioms in our waking life like it's an uphill struggle, we've got a mountain to climb. So there's something that Stephen's doing in waking life with a number of work colleagues. It just seems like a huge effort to do, and they're not getting there. So the action from the dream is just to consider different ways of different ways of doing this and looking at how to get a bit further up with the effort they're making.
So I'm just wondering, you and I have talked about the dreams that I have on occasions.
Yes.
And can I... And the dreams mean one thing, as we know, and it's about expressing creativity and stuff. So can I force myself to dream about how to find the answer to my dream?
Yes, so that's what we're doing in the lucid dream. But the other thing is to use the process described in the book, which is the dream connection process. And it's to take an image from a dream and turn it into a question. So say someone has the 4th most common dream, being naked in public. The question from that dream is, because it's about being exposed and vulnerable, the first question is just to name it. Where do I feel vulnerable in waking life? And then you can turn it around and reflect on it and say, where can I open up more in waking life? And then you can expand on it and say, how can I show other people my talents and other talents I may have beyond that?
And then you'll get some bizarre picture, and then you'll have to unravel that.
Well, as you do that, as you ask yourself these questions, because your dreams are answering questions that you're not even aware you're asking, as you do that, the next night you'll start to get more imagery coming back to answer those questions that you've consciously asked yourself.
We were put together quite cleverly, weren't we, really?
Yes. I don't think we were put together. I think we evolved and all this stuff has emerged.
Do you?
Yes. Yes, but that's a particular belief that I have.
Yeah, funnily enough, I was wondering about that the other day. I suppose that's creationism or intelligent design, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that what I'm thinking?
Yes, I'm more of an evolutionist, that we just evolved and we emerged.
I was trying to work it out while I was in the car the other day, and I didn't get very far.
Yeah, probably need a bit more time.
So, on the text, I dreamt my family put me into an asylum against my will. I escaped through a wooden arch-shaped door and found myself back in time. Everyone was wearing dark clothes. Then I had a fight with a disfigured man that I was trying to break his fingers. Then I woke up and felt very distressed, says Wendy. Not surprised, love.
Yeah, so Wendy's dream sounds really disturbing, but it's actually a really, really powerful dream. So when you dream about an asylum, there's some situation that's driving Wendy crazy in waking life. And she feels that she has to live up to other people's expectations, as symbolised by the family, and that is just driving her mad. So she manages to escape, and she's thinking of how she was previously before she got into this particular situation. And the disfigured man is an aspect of herself. It's her assertiveness and her ambition, and it seems a bit knocked out of shape just now. She's had her ambition knocked out of her, perhaps. So the action from the dream for Wendy is to be really confident and just look at ways of getting out of the situation that might be driving her crazy.
I find the dream connection thing interesting. I'm going to have a look at that. Michael in Whitney Bay says, why is it I often dream of an unsolvable puzzle, such as an algebraic equation on a blackboard, or find my way out of a maze-type building, especially after or during a stressful time?
So when we dream about an unsolvable puzzle or a maze, Michael's dreaming about the direction that he needs to take in waking life. And it's about some choices he has to make. And when we dream about a puzzle, we're actually dreaming about the mystery of our own selves. So Michael has to really ask himself the question, who he really is, what he really needs, and what he truly believes in waking life.
All right, 12:15, we're analysing your dreams. Our Steph Finnan has been out on the streets. Here's another one.
Just monsters coming together, and I'm fighting like mad with them. See, I was in the army and all, I was in a war and all in the 60s a long time ago before this. And I think that's what brought the monsters on, fighting all the time, because she'll tell you, wasn't it? My arms were going in bed and everything,
So this is where you said you were in a coma and this is what you were dreaming?
Dreaming in a coma that they were selling me body parts. They were chopping us up and selling me body parts. You know what you read about and that and stuff like that. Why I dreamt of that, like, when I was in a coma, is beyond me.
Ian Wallace, that's really rather strange.
Yes, so that could be quite a disturbing dream. And so when someone is in a coma, as this gentleman was, then we continue to create imagery at some level of consciousness. So when he dreams about his body parts and selling them, he's actually looking at the value of getting connected all together. So very often these dreams reflect the body's healing process as he goes through the coma and starts to emerge from it. And it can be very, very fundamentally terrifying dream imagery, but it shows that he is healing and becoming healthy again.
Tina says, my dreams tend to be either I'm being attacked, or the kids are, or I'm cornered and have to fight to get out. In my most recent dream, I was in an office and working, but no one could hear or see me.
So in Tina's dream, this one about being attacked is about some conflict she's facing in waking life, and it's very often to do with her ability to assert herself and assert her ambition. So in your previous piece, Jonathan, you were talking about gender stereotypes, and women tend not to assert their needs and their ambitions, and they can often have this dream about being attacked. Or the kids are something that's very close to Tina's heart, some idea or some ambition she has, and she feels that she needs to assert that in waking life. So the action from the dream for Tina is to stand up for herself and be proud of what she can do.
We're going to have a look at the Queen's speech, I'm hoping at 11:52. And so I'm going to play a song before that in a minute, and then we're hopefully going to have a little bit of time left with Ian and your texts. Thank you very much indeed for them. I often dream that teeth are crumbling or falling out. Always feel drained, says Vicky in Newcastle.
That's the second most common dream, teeth falling out, and Vicky needs to be more confident in waking life, even though she feels a bit wobbly and crumbly inside.
Okay. I have a dream when my brother is sitting down, legs outstretched. I can see the soles of his shoes, his heels break off, and fluid pours out. Donna in Blythe, my darling girl.
Anytime we dream about another person in our dream, we're dreaming about an aspect of our own character. So there's something in Donna's waking life, again to do with her ambition and how she asserts it, and because it's to do with the heel, she feels a bit vulnerable and can't really stand up for that. So the action from the dream is to stand up for what she believes in waking life.
For goodness sake, somebody has to have designed us, don't you think?
No.
Okay, I have got on text another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dreams, I think, to have analysed. We're going to try and squeeze that in before 2 minutes to when we do the weather.
It does look splendid.
All right. My time is short with you because I have a dream psychologist in the studio with me and I need to get through some more people's dreams, so I apologise, John. But would you just tell me, she didn't seem to be in there quite long, but what has Her Majesty said?
Yes. Well, some people will say that there's not much in this Queen's speech. Let me just go through very quickly then some of the headlines. Plastic bags, we heard about this in advance, didn't we? They're going to cost you 5 pence. They want it to be law by October next year. The money will go to good causes. We're a little bit behind the times in England because they already charge for placky bags, the throwaway ones from the supermarkets. They already do it in Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland. Why not here, people are saying. So that's likely to become law. Tax-free childcare, maximum support worth up to £2,000 per child each year, so extra help for parents to meet their childcare costs. Pensions, that's a really big one. We heard most of it in the budget from George Osborne. This is about doing what you want with your pension pot with the addition of Dutch-style collective schemes. I won't go into the detail of that now because you're short on time, but you will hear a lot more about it. And a recall bill, I'll just end with that one. It would allow voters to get rid of MPs who've been engaged in serious wrongdoing. Voters could trigger a by-election, so a bit of voter power there, if you like, and other things as well.
And they'll stuff all that in before the election in May.
Very good point. Clock's already ticking, isn't it? How much of this will they get through? That is the big question mark. Possibly not all of it. Time is short. They've really only got till about April when general election campaigning starts. And then, of course, the interesting political point is the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats are going to want to assert their independence, aren't they? They're going to want to show where they are different and that, they can work as a coalition, yes, but they've also got their own policies that they want people to vote for in the general election. So the dynamic is going to be quite interesting in the year ahead.
John Adderley, outside Westminster. As she comes out, give her a wave for us, pet.
Will do.
Thank you. BBC reporter John Adderley. And we're back in the room. Look at my hands, not round the other. So, Ian Wallace, dream psychologist. I have about 90 seconds or 2 minutes left, and I just want to get through these because people have texted them. My mum and auntie, who are both deceased, were in this picnic area by a stream with a bridge over it. I was on the opposite side of the bridge. Each time I tried to cross the bridge, an elephant appeared and chased me away, and I started to fall into a pit of sharp spikes. Woken very shaken, says Ruth in Durham, bless her.
In Ruth's dream, her mum and auntie represent her wisdom and experience, and the picnic area is the idea of relaxation and actually using that wisdom and experience, and that's why the bridge is there. The elephant is some memory from the past that prevents her using that wisdom, and the sharp spikes, she feels that people will give her a hard time if she actually uses her wisdom and experience in waking life. And the message from the dream, the action from the dream for Ruth, is just to be really confident in the wisdom that she has and use it whenever she needs to.
Chris the taxi said, I had a very vivid dream a little while ago about being in a jewellery shop as a customer, and the shop was raided by armed robbers, but they didn't steal anything. It seemed like they were targeting me. They shot me direct in the head, and I literally jumped out of the bed when I was shot in the head. I vividly remembered the gunshot sound and the darkness when dead, per se.
That's a great dream from Chris. So when we dream about a shop, particularly a jewellery shop, we're dreaming about our value to other people in waking life. And because he's been shot in the head, Chris has had this really transforming idea that's scaring him a bit, and he's a bit worried about what to do with it. So he's thought of a way to use his talents in a really valuable way in waking life, and he just needs to take the first step in doing that.
Paula from South Shields. I dreamt that I was in a car driving past a fairground, saw someone falling from the top of a big wheel. It was awful.
In Paula's dream, so we said vehicles about drives and ambitions, a car is about personal drives and ambitions, and a fairground is some idea that she's playing around with, and because it's in a big wheel, it's going round and round and round again. She's a bit worried she'll fail in it, but she just has to go ahead and be confident in her own self.
All right. And finally, Sonia from Throckley. When I was 3 or 4, I used to dream there was a horse's head at my bedroom window. It never did anything. It just looked at me. Oh, God. Then we moved house, and I still had the same dream, but it had turned into a white rabbit's head, and again, it didn't do anything. It just looked at me. I used to be terrified. I haven't had the dream since I was a little, thankfully. God.
So when a child dreams about an animal, the child is dreaming about its own unconscious self and its creative urges, and the head is about being able to actually apply those and just think about them and be thoughtful about them in waking life.
Thank goodness I have got your phone number, Ian Wallace. Thank you. It's very kind of you to come in.
It's been my pleasure, as always, Jonathan.
Okay, back to that there, Edinburgh.
Yes, and thank you for inspiring the complete A to Z dictionary of dreams. Be your own dream expert.
He's not joking either. And it's out tomorrow. I've got my copy, and therefore I won't need to call you. You'll be very glad to hear. But nonetheless, thank you, Ian Wallace.
Thank you again, Jonathan.